right, Mr. Taliaferro TV, how's everybody doing out there? Now, I want to say this. Again, I'm protecting myself. This deal is final with Kawhi Leonard and DeMar DeRozan to Toronto and to San Antonio. These teams are this deal is final, right? But there are some things behind the scenes going on. Kawhi has told Toronto he doesn't want to be there. And in regards to DeMar DeRozan, I don't think he's like against playing for San Antonio, but he is hurt, y'all. He is on his Instagram, on his Insta story as we speak. And first off, he said, be told one thing and the outcome is another. Can't trust him. Ain't no loyalty in this game. Sell you out quick for a little bit of nothing. Right? He says, soon you'll understand. Don't disturb. Now, here's what I do know. And this is via Chris Haynes. Chris Haynes is one of the best that ESPN has to offer. After Woj, I would think between him and Brian Windhorst, Chris might be second over there at ESPN now in regards to breaking news on the NBA side. Chris said that the Raptors and DeMar DeRozan met this summer, I believe in Vegas, right? So recently. And the Raptors told DeMar DeRozan straight up and down, no matter what, he would not be traded. Now, playing devil's advocate here, the Raptors, I'm thinking at that time, didn't think they had a realistic chance of landing Kawhi Leonard. Like I said in my previous video, what happened was Toronto became the driver's seat because a couple things happened. The Sixers would not even offer Markelle Fultz, let alone an all-star. They wouldn't even give up the #1 pick in the draft that they didn't even play in the playoffs last year. They wouldn't offer Fultz. Their whole deal that they offered the Spurs for Kawhi Leonard was around Robert Covington, couple picks. It wasn't enough. The Lakers, and I think the Spurs should have took the Lakers deal. They would not give up Kyle Kuzma and Brandon Ingram. They wouldn't give up both. They were willing to give up Lonzo, but would not give up Brandon Ingram and Kyle Kuzma. And it would have took at least that to get that deal done, because the Spurs are not 1,000% sold on any of those guys. They really like Kyle Kuzma. They really like Josh Hart. They're not 1,000% sold to trade their all-star, their guy that's a Finals MVP, Defensive Player of the Year multiple times. They're not 100% sold on any of the Lakers guys to go straight up and down like they're doing with the Raptors here. So that's one thing that happened. These teams were not willing to give up a lot. Boston wouldn't even give up Jaylen Brown, right? So I'm just telling you what happened. The second thing is, moves happened this summer, ladies and gentlemen. The Lakers gave Rondo, they gave JaVale McGee, Lance Stevenson. They gave all these guys one-year deals. They can't trade them until December. That's just a rule under the NBA collective bargaining agreement. So they got to stick there. They got to stick there. And they're out of the running pretty much to go Lakers and Spurs. They don't have enough players, obviously you're not trading LeBron. You can't trade him anyway. You don't have enough guys to trade with the Spurs straight up and down, so you need a third team. Well, the Chicago Bulls just gave Jabari Parker like $20 million a year. Well, the Brooklyn Nets, who could help facilitate this trade as a third team, they've been signing guys. They don't have the cap anymore. The Lakers are pretty much out of the running. So that happened, right? Unless the Lakers give up all their young pieces, they pretty much took themselves out of running. So I'm guessing the Raptors didn't know a few weeks ago when they reportedly met with DeMar DeRozan and told him he wouldn't be traded, that they just, like the last week or so, I know I've been away, but the last week or so, they became the clear front runners because they're the only team, they're going all-star for all-star and the caps line up. You don't really got to add too many more pieces in a trade for it to work out because you're pretty much going all-star for all-star, cap dollar for dollar, right? So that's how this thing worked out for the Raptors, and the person that gets played in all of this is DeRozan. He's upset. You got to think about it, man. People are not dying to come to Toronto. That's not a destination where in the past we've seen free agents just want to be at, right? Especially to play with a team that we've seen in the past when there's a great player on the court, they struggle. Let alone when you're going to have to play teams like Boston, who's going to have multiple great players on the court. We think Jason Tatum's going to be a superstar on my platform. Kyrie's already superstar-like. Philadelphia's only getting better. So, I mean, I'm not comparing any of those guys to LeBron, but I'm just saying, like, guys are not dying to play with Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan in Toronto. That's why they've been unable to land a third star. So for a guy like DeMar DeRozan to go out of his way to stick around and re-sign, what was that, 2 summers ago when he re-signed with the Raptors? He didn't have to do that. He's from California. The Lakers would have loved to have him at that time. But even beyond that, teams around this league respect DeMar DeRozan's game, and they just believe he can't be a number 1. The Raptors needed him to be a number 1. DeMar DeRozan has done nothing but improve since he's been in this league. Right? He's got post-up moves now. His game is expanded. He's no longer just a high flyer. He's getting you in the post. He's expanded that jumper, that game. So he's hurt. To commit to Toronto when he didn't have to, and for this to happen, look, I'm like you. I believe the Raptors had to blow this thing up. I would have looked to trade Kyle Lowry first. I think he's the problem. His mentality just doesn't seem like a winner to me. But for them to go ahead and trade DeRozan, and trade him, not only get rid of your guy, the centerpiece of your franchise, you go get a better player. I'll give you that. But to go get a rental and just think that just because it worked out for Paul George and him staying in Oklahoma City when they traded for a rental, to think that this is for sure going to work out with Kawhi 1 year from now when he's told you guys he wants to be in Los Angeles, I'm just saying it's a risk. Remember, Russell Westbrook was part of that convinced PG to stay. They're like really close friends now, right? Think about that. I'm just saying, unless Kyle Lowry's gonna open back up and connect with Kawhi Leonard on a emotional level, it's gonna be tough to convince him otherwise. It's either gonna be Kyle Lowry convincing Kawhi to stay or success, right? You got one of the two have to happen. With Paul George, it was a player. It was Russell Westbrook. I'm just saying, DeMar DeRozan was a guy that was going to stay with your franchise to thick and thin. He had signed a long-term deal with you. I would have tried to move Lowry. I would have even started Fred VanVleet, traded Lowry for a 3 or a 4 or a pick. I would have traded Lowry, got in a position to draft Michael Porter. I would have did something like that. I would have took a risk, or Jaren Jackson, right? Or try to get in that top 4, I don't know if Lowry would have been able to do that up and down, but I would have traded whatever to get a top pick in that draft. I would have did something like that. I don't think I would have traded DeRozan right now because you know it's just going to be tough to get people to stay in Toronto. And you finally got a guy that's willing to stay in Toronto, and he's heartbroken over this. And by the way, guys in the league talk. He's an all-star. Guys talk around the league. DeMar DeRozan is well connected around the league. You think this is going to go over with some of the other top guys when they find out this ownership and this team met with DeMar DeRozan and told him you be safe a couple weeks ago? And now he's traded. I get it. It's a business. Don't get me wrong. It's a business. And when you got a chance to get better, go for it. But to get better with a rental, kind of slap in the face to everything DeRozan's did for that team. Like I said, I'll acknowledge this. I did not think the backcourt combination of DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry would deliver a championship in the East. I did not think that. I do believe it was worth giving this team one last chance with LeBron gone. LeBron was their kryptonite. I would have gave this thing one last year. When LeBron left to go to Los Angeles, I probably would have gave this team one last chance and then traded some pieces. But I'm guessing they're maximizing DeMar DeRozan's trade value. It probably won't get higher than what it is right now. You're able to land a guy in Kawhi. Hey, it's a business. DeMar DeRozan is very upset, though. And those posts, I'm sure, is just the beginning of, we're going to see him talk about the disloyal, and this is what he called it in his post, that he feels like the San Antonio Spurs, the Toronto Raptors have been in him. And now he's being shipped essentially to a Spurs team, which has been too loyal to a player. So we'll see how all this plays out. I have more videos on this for sure. Stay tuned. Please subscribe. Mr. Taliaferro, thank you for the time. Let's put on. Take a granted salute. I'm out.
I want to salute you, homie, you know, for building your own thing and doing your own thing, creating your own platform, your own website.
I got one life to live out my dreams, and I'm giving this thing all I got. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I represent the culture.
Right now you're turning up on MrTaliaferro.com, shawty.